With 52% of marriages ending in divorces, I sat down with a good friend today in Atlanta, Georgia, to talk about 5 signs you are financially compatible with the person you are currently dating and or considering to propose to, brothers, and considering to marry, ladies. I think financial compatibility is very, very important, and we're going to have that conversation today. So, hey, listen, before we get into today's show and have this amazing conversation and go back to Atlanta to sit down with my good friends, Leah, I want to just remind you, hey, if you're new to the YouTube channel, please hit subscribe. If you're listening to me on podcasts, hit subscribe, because I promise you every single week, we are bringing you fresh and brand new and creative content that is helping you experience and reach your goals when it comes to your spiritual walk, your emotional journey, and your financial freedom. I'm really, really excited about today's show. But before I get there, I want to ask this quick question. When is the last time you experienced a headache? Or maybe you've had some digestive issues. Do you understand that sometimes headaches, teeth grinding, and even digestive issues can be indicators of stress? And let's not forget about scrolling just on the phone, or sleepless nights, or maybe oversleeping and undereating and overeating. You know, with me, I deal with stress by actually not sleeping. I overwork. When I'm stressed about an assignment, when I'm stressed about a project that failed, or when I'm stressed because maybe I dated someone and it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out, and now I am emotionally drained by it. I am stressed. I am overthinking. So I tend to dive myself into working. But stress shows up in all kind of ways. And in a world that's telling you to do more, sleep less, and just grind, sweep everything up underneath the rug, I'm here to remind you to take care of yourself. Do less and maybe try therapy. That's right. Throughout this year, the year 2022, I'm teaching you to maximize this year. And when it comes to maximizing, you have to take care of your business, your number one asset, which is your mind, because your mind is your number one generating money tool. I remember going to therapy, and I remember how when I went into therapy, man, I was more effective. I didn't get stressed as much. And when I did get stressed, I learned and I taught myself how to respond to stressful moments because I was seeking therapy through BetterHelp. I partnered with this amazing organization called BetterHelp. And for you today, they're giving you 10% off if you sign up and join them today. All you have to do is go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp, anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp. You want to reach your goals, you want to get married, you want to pay off debt. If you're going through stuff right now and you're feeling stressed, you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm about to break down, I want you to seek help. What I love about BetterHelp is that not only are they very affordable and cheaper than going in person, but let's just say you want to get online and you don't want them to see your face. You just want to chat. You can chat. Let's say you want to just jump on a phone call and just have a virtual phone call. You can do that. Let's say if you're going through something in the middle of the day and you just want to send a quick text message, you can do that, and you can get the help that you need and that you deserve, so you can be the best individual, so you can be the best mom, best father, best employee, best employer, best business owner. Check out BetterHelp today. Go to anthonyoneal.com/BetterHelp, or the link will be in today's show notes. Let's get to today's show.
What's happening? No captain. We AO about to get a plate bowl. Pull up to the table. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony ONeal. Welcome back to the table. Yes, we are still in Atlanta because I really want to come down here and have a conversation with my friends and just really do something different, you know? We'll be back at the table. Don't get it twisted, because that's my table. I pay cash for it. But I'm really excited today because we're going to have a real good conversation with a dear friend of mine. We've known each other for quite some time. She's been through life and experiences, and she posted something that I was like, yo, I kind of like that. And I want to have a conversation about that. And so I think for us, as we are single, because the majority of us who watch this show are single. So we really want to really prepare ourselves to be properly aligned and have clear vision going into the marriage. One of the things that I'm focused on when it comes to our community, our tribe, is making sure that we steward our single season correctly. And as we are stewarding that, we're coming up with our own vision, our own mission. We're dealing with our finances. We're getting healthy information from mentors and stuff like that. And a part of that is because you want to make sure that when you get married, you are compatible, that you all and you and your spouse, whoever you choose, are aligned in certain areas. And one of my good friends, her name is Leah. She is a millennial money mentor. She is a recently single young mother. She has a newborn, which is so cool. I met her when she didn't have one, and now she has one. That's so cool to call her a mother now. And she came out with a post that I think you're going to really, really love. So I want you to sit tight, get your notepad open, because we're going to help single people really understand and identify some things that you should be looking for when it comes to your spouse. We're going to be talking about 6 signs that you are financially compatible to your significant other. These are going to be some good conversations. So get ready. Yo, Leah! What's up, girl?
How are you?
Yo, man, you chilling? Coming out here with them glasses on. Are you like you're a school teacher or something like that? Yo, thanks for driving out. Thanks for coming out. Before we dive into this, tell a little bit of the people about you, your expertise. Who is Leah? Not the expert in the money space, but who is Leah? You know, what makes you Leah?
I am a recent mother, as you said.
Congrats.
To a 10-month-old. And I'm just very passionate about helping people build generational wealth. I have a background in corporate finance and audit. I've done that for about 15 years. And then one day I was doing my taxes and I said, why don't I have any money? I made that year I had made the most money I had ever made. And I had absolutely nothing to show for it. My savings was the same. Yeah. My investments were the same. So I decided something had to change. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I had to do it. So actually that Sunday at church, during the announcement section, they announced the Financial Peace Program.
Yeah.
So I enrolled in that, and within 18 months, I paid off $40,000 worth of debt.
18 months?
Yes, 18
40
months.
grand?
40 grand.
Oh, you was intentional.
Yeah, I was serious. I increased my credit score to over 800, and I purchased investment property in D.C., so I'm a landlord now.
Okay.
And then I decided I wanted to help other people do the same. So that's when I created Leah Marie Collins, the Millennial Money Mentor.
Yeah.
So that's part 1 of my story. Part 2, 2019, I got engaged.
Yeah.
2020, we called the engagement off because we were not financially compatible. There were a lot of tough discussions that we did not have ahead of time. We made a lot of assumptions because we had dated for about 10 years.
Wow.
Yes, a very long time. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to help other people avoid the mistakes that I made because we did the premarital counseling, but in premarital counseling, they do a high level, they kind of touch on finances high level. They don't go into depth about it, right? Yeah. And I searched high and low for, something that could actually help us, and I couldn't find anything. So that's why I niched down to help couples with premarital or pre-engagement, because I actually think waiting to after you get engaged is a little too late.
Absolutely.
So I focus now on helping couples have those tough discussions.
Wow, and that's good because you had to have the tough conversation.
Right.
And having that tough conversation saved you probably from years of headaches and issues down the road. And money. Mm-hmm. I like how you said that. One of my things that I teach my tribe is before you even get into a committed relationship, you got to have the money conversation.
Right, absolutely.
So while you're dating, cool, great. But before then, you have to have the money conversation.
Right.
Even came out with a free mini ebook. It's called Anthony ONeal's Guide to Having a Hard Conversation While Dating, because it's important, right? Mm-hmm. So would you say now with you experiencing and you being an expert in this space, at what point should you have that money conversation?
I think you should have it as soon as possible.
Day 1, day 3?
Well, having the discussions on date 1 maybe a good idea. It'll scare a lot of people off. No, but there are ways. No, it'll scare a lot of people off. But there are subtle ways to bring it up, though.
Let's go, Leah. How do you gonna bring it up? Let's go.
One way
Let's go
that
there.
I bring it up is just by talking about myself.
Okay.
So I may say, I'm looking for houses this weekend, and naturally the conversation is going to turn into the current state of the real estate market, home ownership. We'll maybe talk about my investments. And then usually people divulge a little bit about their situation, right?
Yeah.
Or you can say something like, I'm saving up for a vacation, or I'm looking for a new job. It's just a great segue into someone's money mindset, which is just a person's behavior or beliefs and attitudes behind how they feel about money.
I got a question for y'all watching this right now. I want to ask you this question. When are you going to bring up the money conversation? Day one? Because Leah just coming out the gate swinging. Like, she's like, listen, I ain't got time to be playing with you. I'm a whole mama. I'm a whole entrepreneur. I need to know where your head is. I mean, what about you? Comment in the comments below if you're on YouTube. If you're on podcast, jump over. Shoot me an email. Y'all know my email, anthony@anthonyoneal.com. Let me know when would you have the conversation. So you're saying ASAP. Have the conversation. So that way, which I agree, you should have the conversation soon. So that way there's not a lot of energy going into something and you don't know where you guys are.
Exactly.
You recently went through a divorce because of financial issues, right?
We called out the engagement.
So,
Not a
and
divorce.
if you don't want to answer this question, just say I don't want to answer this question. Who called off the engagement?
We both called out the
You
engagement.
both called off the engagement. What was his reason for saying, yeah, this is not going to work?
Well, there were a lot of different issues.
Right.
Finance was just one of them.
Okay.
But I
Cool.
will say it happened when we were having the prenup discussion.
So who wanted the prenup?
Oh, we both wanted a prenup. It was the details of the prenup that were a different story.
Well, look at it all. So we just recently had a conversation on my show about prenups. Why do you agree with prenups? I mean, that's not even on my questionnaire. Why do you agree with that?
Because I think it's sort of like an insurance policy. No one goes into a relationship wanting to break up, but
Right.
it happens. 50% of marriages end in divorce, and it's even higher if you're Black, right?
Yeah.
So why not a prenup?
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you don't trust God in that process if you sign a prenup?
No. I feel like God created prenups.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is just amazing. And we've never talked about this. So when you find your husband, or when your husband finds you, y'all are having a conversation about prenups.
Absolutely.
So when you and your ex-fiance were having a conversation, what was some of the disagreements without going too personal?
I don't know how to talk about it without getting too personal.
Well, we can skip it.
I still have a child with this man.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And I want you to honor the man, because I mean, you have an amazing child with this man, and he's a good man, he's just not your man.
Right.
You know, and so I definitely want to respect that. Okay, all right, prenups. This is so good. So while you was going through that process, you learned 6 things. Will let you know that that you are financially compatible with him. And this is why I reached out to you and say, we need to talk about this. And the very first one you said, you both have very similar, not identical, and you put not identical, very bold there, goals of how the future looks. Why is that so important?
It is important because it's going to guide a lot of the decisions you make.
Okay.
So, for example, I may have a client, right? A couple, and partner A wants to build generational wealth. And
Okay.
partner B says, no, I want to spend all my money now while I'm here. The kids can get it out. What's the saying? The kids can get it out the mud. They can struggle like I did.
Right.
And I've seen that happen.
Okay.
So that can be a huge source of conflict,
Absolutely.
right? But then you have the couples who have similar goals. They just have different ways of getting there. So you may have partner A who says, I want to retire early. I want to live frugally, cut back on expenses to get there. The other partner says, I don't want to cut back on anything. Let's generate different sources of revenue and income. So it's just very important to strategize, get on the same page, and have that vision up front instead of later, because that was another big issue with us. Things that I just assumed we would be on the same page about. We were not even close.
Man, see, that's scary for me when I hear if someone doesn't think like me, if we don't align, I want to build wealth and generational wealth, but you just want to ball out today and enjoy it and let your kids just do what they got to do to survive to get to where you are.
Right.
That's a little scary.
That's very scary.
Very scary to me. I would leave that relationship.
Right.
Before we even talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it. At all. So listen, all y'all little single ladies out there, don't come for me. Because I'm about generational wealth. So, how do you feel with Shaquille O'Neal's comment? He told his kids, I'm rich, but you're not. How do you feel about that? Or when
What
you
do you
have
mean?
wealth,
What's the context behind
like,
it?
so
That's
you're
it?
wealthy.
That's all he said?
That's all. That's the whole context. He says like, yo, Leah, you're wealthy, but your kids are not. Do you believe that statement?
I personally do not. If I'm wealthy, my kids are wealthy.
I agree. Now, my kids can't spend all my wealth.
Right, exactly.
But we are wealthy because you will reap the rewards of my hard labor, and I want to set you up for the advancement.
Absolutely. I agree.
This is so good.
When did he make that comment? Was that recently?
It was recently. He said it actually on Earn Your Leisure's platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he wasn't downplaying his kids. He was just simply saying like, no, I built the wealth. You're my child. So he wasn't saying nothing negative about his kids. He was just simply saying like, I'm rich. I'll work this out. And if you want me to invest into you, that's cool. That's great. But you got to present it to me. Like, I want to make sure I'm investing into something good.
Okay.
And I would probably do that with my kids.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would want to educate them on how to present it to me.
Right.
And they can't come to me and say, Dad, I need $100,000 to start this business. Give it to me. And I don't see what's the vision? Where are you going with it?
No,
I think that's what he's saying.
Okay. Yeah.
But I get his sentiments of I'm wealthy, you're not. But if I'm wealthy, my kids will be wealthy.
Right.
You know,
I think that's what.
But you're gonna have to work for it.
Right.
This is a good one. Oh man. You can talk about money without fighting is number 2 on your list.
Yeah. That one is very, very important. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Communication, trust, and also a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because money fights are rarely actually about money.
Yeah.
Right? It's usually some internalized struggle around control, ego, self-esteem, independence, and money is just kind of the conduit because it's easier to talk about. So for example, say one partner makes a large purchase and forgets to tell the other partner.
How you
about
forget
it.
to tell your partner?
I mean, I don't know. It happens.
You've done that before?
Maybe it's not a large purchase. Maybe it's just a purchase. Let me just finish the example. So partner A makes a purchase and they forget to tell partner B.
Okay.
And partner B gets upset, goes into a rage, and partner A gets upset as well, obviously. And it's not because their partner is upset with them. It's more because they don't like being controlled, right? They have an issue with being micromanaged.
Yeah.
And the reason that they're micromanaged is because their spouse, that's what they experienced growing up, and that's what they saw in their household.
Okay.
So it's not always like what it appears to be on the surface. And I had issues like that. Looking back, I was actually reflecting on that on my drive here. We had one major issue, and it had to do with me being stubborn about something because of something else that was done earlier where I felt like I wasn't heard. So with this particular thing that was so small that I could have easily given in on, I held my stance because of something else. And
for real?
Yeah, it caused conflict for the rest of the engagement.
Typically, ladies have that problem.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me win that argument.
Okay.
See, that was good. She's been watching my show.
It's not worth arguing about. I choose my battles.
You choose your battles wisely. So you're saying that this could have been a battle?
It could have been.
Oh my gosh, Leah. So let me answer this question. What do you recommend to people when there is a disagreement? Because disagreements will happen when it comes to money. How do you resolve those when you are going into a situation, going into, which is very funny because my philosophy, which may be different from yours, right? I don't know if I'm going to have an argument about money with someone who I'm dating. Because I don't think
we ever had arguments about money when we were dating.
Got you. And so, like, for me, I wouldn't move in with my wife until we was married, right? So even when we're just engaged, I don't know if I would even combine accounts. So we wouldn't really have that argument. But maybe talk to the people who are living together right now and they're having those arguments. How do you resolve those issues respectfully and cordially together?
The biggest thing for us when we were able to resolve our issues was just stepping away, really.
Okay.
Just stepping away, giving your time to pause and really think about what happened.
Yes.
Remove yourself from that situation. Usually once we calm down, we can come back together and actually listen and hear what the person is actually saying. And then there were a few times we just had to go to counseling.
For real?
Get
y'all went to counseling while y'all was engaged and dating. Did y'all go while y'all was dating?
Yes.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't date anyone who would not go to counseling, individual counseling or couples counseling.
Oh, yeah, I so agree with you, especially Black men.
Right.
I think every Black man needs to go to counseling before they get into a serious relationship. Because I think deep down, there are particular issues within inside of us that we need to address before getting into that. Because I think we can come into a lot of relationships controlling from past hurt. And not past hurt from a woman, but from past hurt from just society and culture.
Yeah, your parents.
Absolutely.
Your parents. Yeah.
Yo, this is so good.
Yeah.
So you can talk about money without fighting. I think you can. I really do think you can.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think that's 2 for a win. I think that's 2 for a win. All right, number 3. A recent study from the Federal Reserve suggests that couples with similar credit scores are more likely to stay together. For real? That's interesting. You don't have to share the same credit score as your partner in order to be credit compatible, but you may need to talk if the scores vary by a few hundred points. Well, you're looking at me because you already know I don't do credit scores.
I don't know. But then that just means you're not financially compatible with someone who does do credit scores.
It just got quiet. Okay, break that down.
Well, this is about financial compatibility, right?
Yeah, this is good.
Have you found someone who doesn't do credit scores as far as dating?
No.
You haven't? Okay.
Yeah,
so is
real.
that a deal breaker for you?
No.
Okay.
But it is a deal breaker if you tell me you want to be married and you still want to do credit stuff.
Really?
You still want to borrow money, yeah.
Have you had that conversation with anyone?
Absolutely. And most ladies who I date don't have a problem with that.
Really?
Yeah. Because they understand my philosophy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, there are some who be like, no, I want to buy property. Well, I'm buying property. No, I want to leverage other people's money. Then that's where we have a different alignment. You know what I'm saying? So if we're spending my money, I want to go spend the white man's money. That's what they say. And I'm like, what you mean? I mean, it's so for me, that's interesting. But again, I love different perspectives on my show. So break that down.
Okay. So issue with it wasn't really even an issue, actually.
Yeah.
His credit, he made way more money than I did, but his credit score was lower just because he's very forgetful. So I just said, hey, babe, let's set up auto pay. You really have to dig into the source. Like, why is their credit not the best? They could have made a mistake in college, right? But they've learned from that mistake, but it's still on their credit report.
Leah ain't playing. You want to have the conversation. When do you want to talk about credit score?
When do I want to talk about it?
Yeah.
I prefer to talk about it as soon as possible.
What's as soon as possible?
Maybe not the first date, but before we get serious, for sure. Absolutely.
So this is before we even get into a relationship, we talking about the credit score.
I just don't want to waste my time. I did that once. I told you I was in a 10-year relationship. I'm not doing that again.
Leah.
Yeah.
So you meet a guy who doesn't do credit, but he makes a lot of money. Is that an off alignment for you?
No. That's not no. I'm more.
So why did you frown when I said that? You asked me, did you find anyone? No,
I just thought that would be hard to find. That's all. I haven't found too many people that are okay with that. That's all.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
So you could date someone who doesn't do, and I'm not asking for me. She's the homie. Trust me, we've had this conversation. You're telling me you could date someone who doesn't do debt, but pays for everything cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you would still want to do it.
I'm fine either way. That's not a deal breaker.
Leah, don't lie.
He can't have
Leah,
bad
don't
credit.
lie.
My deal breaker is bad credit. You just can't have fair.
Can't have bad credit.
Right.
All right, so check this out. Can he make less money than you? Yes, no crap.
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Did I ask you that? We didn't talk
I
about
knew
this.
you were going to ask me that.
Oh, that's because you've been watching my show. Yeah.
I do my research.
I know you do.
Okay.
Ooh. Now listen. You know it's a safe place for me. I want you to be honest.
No, I'm going to be honest.
Uh-oh.
I think going into a relationship, it's very important, for people to discuss. I think it's very important for couples to spend quality time together, okay?
Fair.
And they need to discuss what that looks like. So I like international travel. I enjoy spa days, golf, going to the country club, things like that.
I understand.
And if someone that makes less than me can keep up with that lifestyle, then sure, why
You're
not?
beating around the question.
I'm not beating around the question. If
You are
they can
beating
keep
around the
up with the
question.
lifestyle, then sure.
So, guy makes $40,000. See what I'm saying? Because
If he can keep up with my lifestyle and my savings goals and my vision for the future, maybe he inherited a lot of money. I don't know.
No. Let's talk about the typical black man in America.
That.
Do you date interracially?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great. So then let's say the average income in America is right around $42,000 to $45,000, to $55,000 in America. You meet that average man, can you date that person?
If our visions align and he can execute on that vision and that goal, then yes.
A $55,000 guy is not, he should not, he better not have a country club golf membership. That's a problem.
I just think this should be talked about up front. It should be discussed because it could cause conflict. It could. I've seen that before. I have dated someone that made less than me and I liked him so much I did not care.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm shocked by that.
But we still had money issues though. So it still came up. But it wasn't a huge issue, but we still had.
Why did that not work out? Was it money though?
No, that wasn't money.
Okay. Good. Now listen, and she's on my show because I trust her character and integrity, y'all. I know I can ask her these questions. Leah's the truth. I love her. Okay, cool, great. That's funny. I didn't know that side of you though.
What, that I would date someone that makes $40,000?
Personally, I don't think you will.
Why is that?
Because I know your lifestyle. And I don't think a guy, honestly, because I am a man who makes $40,000 can keep up with that lifestyle. And I say that because I used to make that kind of money.
Mm-hmm. And I did too. And that's the thing. Before I had that lifestyle, before I was used or accustomed to those things, absolutely, 100%. But now that I've had a taste of that life, I want to maintain it. That's all.
Whatever happened to sacrifices in marriage? But anyways.
You can sacrifice in other ways.
Yeah. What you mean? What you mean by that? You can sacrifice in other ways.
Just because I don't sacrifice in that one area.
In the finances area?
And someone who makes less than me.
Leah.
And I never said I wouldn't date someone who makes less.
You know what? I'm going to take that back. I think you're right. I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, right? I think that because you have this quality, this taste for this, or this desire for this kind of man, because you're right. Once you get to that level, it is hard to go to a different level, but you also do lower your dating pool.
I know that. That's why.
Let's move on. As long as she's cool with that, I'm cool. Because, I've lowered my dating pool, too, because of the particular kind of woman that I do desire, and so that, I don't date interracially. Nothing wrong with people who do that. I want me a black woman. I love chocolate, and so I know that just lowered my dating pool.
Right.
Because there's not as many black people as other beautiful ladies in the world. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then I want my woman a little bit younger than me because I want some more kids. More, like I got kids. What in the world?
But see, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I also know that that just lowers my dating pool.
And that's fine.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. So I don't want you to feel like I'm like, what in the world? Leah, you're good. Wait a minute. You said you both are willing to compromise to achieve the goals, whether shared or personal.
That's a perfect segue. Yeah, we just talked about that.
Are you really, okay, Leah, let's get real here. Are you really willing to compromise?
Absolutely. Marriage is a huge compromise. It's one big compromise. Yes.
You're just not willing to compromise in this particular area of finances.
Correct.
So what other areas are you willing to compromise in?
I told you the credit score. I'll compromise there.
That's finances.
You said other than finances?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. See? You ain't willing to compromise.
No, I need an example. Let me think.
She thinking, y'all. Let her think. Doom, 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 doom. Doom,
Okay, so here's an example, kind of.
doom, doom.
One big issue when I wouldn't say it was a huge issue, but one issue when I was engaged is there were cultural differences. He was Nigerian American, I'm Black African American. And because of that, there were just certain things that I had to compromise on as far as finances. The family structure is very different. They come from a more collectivist society where it's all about the community. There's a hierarchy there. Whereas America is more individualistic. It's about the person, self-sufficiency. And it was just very different. For example, if we had a argument or a disagreement, it's not out of the norm for him to call our mothers and get our mothers involved, call the aunties and get them involved in our conflict that we have going on. So that was an area I had to compromise on.
Life insurance is one of the best ways to protect what matters most and help you create generational wealth to pass on to your families. You see, but here's the thing. According to LIMRA, 31% of Black people believe that life insurance is only for final expenses. But in reality, life insurance can do so much more than just take care of your final expenses and medical bills. If you have children, it can help pay for their college. If you are a homeowner, it can help pay for the mortgage. The problem is, life insurance used to be very confusing, expensive, and time-consuming. But not anymore. You see, my friends over at Ethos have it nailed down. You can get a free quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and even get same-day coverage like myself. You can do it all on your own time, completely online. Most people, like myself, it took me maybe 10 minutes to get a quote. But they also have a full-time staff of helpful experts available for any questions you may have. And check this out. They are non-commissioned, so they don't care what you buy. They just want to help you protect yourself and your family. Head over to anthonyoneal.com/ethos for a free quote today. That's anthonyoneal.com/ethos. Let's get to today's show.
Yo, we just now tuned in to the show. Yo, welcome back to the table. It's your boy, Anthony ONeal, and I am joined by my girl, Leah. Boy, she's coming for us today. But before we get back to today's show, I want to remind you all that, hey, listen, we are saving for emergencies, okay? We set aside at least 3 to 6 months of our expenses so that way we can be prepared for when something does happen. If you're a millennial, I'm telling you right now, the Millennial Money Coach, the Millennial Money Mentor will tell you set aside for emergencies. And here's what I want you to do. Join me over at Prize Pool. They offer right around 0.30%, but what I really love about them is they offer you at least, let's say you put $10,000 into this account, they're gonna give you 10,000 tickets. 10,000 tickets will enter you into a drawing, and every single month they're giving away anywhere between $5,000 weekly to up to $25,000 in a grand prize monthly. So you do not lose your money. You gain a lot of interest on that money. It's FDIC insured, and you never know. You may win $10, $15, $20, $25,000. I've actually already won about $300 since I've been with them over the last 6 months. I actually like it. I really do. I do park my emergency fund there. So join me over at Prize Pool. Check out the information in my show description. And we're going to get back to today's conversation with my dear friend, Leah. Leah, all right, we got like 2 more. Yes, we got 2 more. All right. It says, how do you know you are financially compatible? You say, neither of you feel the need to hide purchases. Are couples hiding purchases from each other?
Studies show that between 70 and 80% of couples actually hide purchases from one another. And this is an example of financial infidelity. I don't know if you've heard of that, but basically it's just lying about purchases that you've made.
Right.
And women typically lie about clothing or gifts to family members and friends. And with men, it's usually electronics or expensive hobbies that they have. Yeah. And it's not just about hiding purchases. It's also about hiding the price of your purchase. So say something really costs $300 and you tell your partner it costs $150. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that a lot with couples. And I try not to mentor married couples unless it is around solely finances. And one of the things when I do mentor couples when it comes to finances is the budgeting, is they'll come by and say, hey, we set aside $500 for leisure money on both sides, but she spent or he spent $2,000.
Right.
And he didn't tell me about that. And so when I asked that question, are couples really doing it? It's real.
Yeah.
I even mentored one couple. One wife was honestly taking money from the account and setting it into a savings account. She wasn't spending it.
It was a secret stash.
It was a secret stash.
Like an escape fund?
Well, she said it was just a just in case fund.
Yeah.
And I was like, just in case? Just in case of what? I don't know. Just in case I needed money. And I mean, wow, we're hiding money from each other.
Yeah, that's a good example.
As single people, what can we start doing now to just really start making sure that we are prepared to be vulnerable and open and to trust each other with our finances when we go into a marriage?
Communicate. Have those discussions as soon as possible.
Yeah.
This is sort of related to what you're talking about, but also one of the reasons I wanted a prenup is because you're forced to be transparent about your situation. The lawyers are going to comb through your finances, and if there's something there, they're going to find it. So that was one of the reasons we both wanted one, was so that he could see everything I had and I could see everything he had.
Did y'all learn anything at prenup?
We didn't get to that point.
You never got to the prenup?
We never got to that part. Right. We ended it when the discussion started.
Started coming up. Wow.
Right.
That's... I got a question. The next... Oh, you already said how you're going to do it. I was going to ask you how you're going to bring a prenup into that conversation. That's so interesting. Every time I hear you say prenup, it just takes me back. All right, here's the last one.
How do you feel about prenups?
How do I feel about it? Oh, I agree with it.
Okay.
I agree with it from the perspective of if you want to have it, have it. If you don't want to have it, like you said, just be with someone who doesn't want to have it.
Right.
For Anthony ONeal, more than likely, yes.
Right.
She will have to sign a prenup.
Yeah.
But I will make sure that prenup is fair. I will make sure that prenup is, I will pay for her to go see her own attorney. My attorney is Attorney Michelle out of DC.
Okay.
And she will take care of myself. And then I have the two attorneys. But I want a prenup only so, just in case, my prayer is that I would never have to use a prenup.
Right.
But if it does, I at least want us to equally agree on what to do with it. And she will be fairly compensated. And you never know, I may marry someone who is wealthier than me.
Right.
And I mean, as a man, I probably need to be compensated. But, but I just want to make sure that both parties can leave the situation if it ever came to that. But I hate talking about prenups because I know it is a move that I would want, but I pray that it's a move that I never have to enforce. Yeah, it's not romantic, but neither is a will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Neither is life insurance.
Right.
Neither is car insurance. Neither is health insurance. But it's a conversation that if we have, boom. One of my friends had a prenup, right? Married for 7 years. They decided to get a divorce. They had a kid in that process. They both said, because I'm good friends with both of them, they both said having a prenup was so good for us because we didn't have to focus on the monetary things.
Right.
We just argued about our child. But she knew I'm walking away with this.
Right.
She was happy. He knew he was walking away with that. He was happy. But the hardest part of their whole divorce had nothing to do with money.
Oh, that's great.
It had everything to do with that child because they both loved that child. And they both wanted to raise that child. And he said, but it was peaceful to know once we got through that, we could leave each other be. So I think prenups are cool.
What about postnups?
Postnups, man. Now, that part would scare the living daylights out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're married and you come to me, tell me, hey, babe. To me, there's something in your head that's saying,
something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Right.
Now, my homeboy did cheat on his wife, unfortunately. His wife came back after like 6 months. And she said, I will come back, but you got to give me a She said prenup, which is a post-nup. Just in case if you do it again, I'm leaving. And I know what I'm leaving with. And I was like, do I want to come back into a relationship where I feel as if I have to have a legal binding contract to keep my situation healthy?
Right.
You know, but again, we had my attorney on the show, and she said she's actually written a couple of post-nups. You know, but if I was married already and my wife came back and said that,
maybe a red flag.
yeah. I mean, how would you feel?
The same, probably. Yeah.
Yes. How would y'all feel? Now, I got a question. How would you feel? How would you feel if your spouse came to you after you got married, watching my show, you didn't see Leah come on here talk about my husband signed a prenup, a Black woman saying that. Then you saw my attorney, a Black wealthy woman, say, yeah, my husband's gonna, I mean, both of them said, we both bring it up before our husbands or our boyfriends do. That's a little interesting. But how would you feel if your spouse came to you and said, hey, I want a post-nup, which is a prenup, but prenup after marriage? Drop that in the comments below. Here's the last one. Your spending and saving priorities are similar and you trust their purchase decisions. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I really do. So it's like no matter what you all land on, you trust their decisions.
Right.
Have you ever dated someone and you saw them purchase something and you just didn't like what they purchased? You thought that was an unwise move?
No.
I have.
You have?
Absolutely.
What did they purchase?
Anytime a woman comes to me and I know what she generally does for a living, but her outfit is probably more than her paycheck every 2 weeks, that's a red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime my friends come around me and I know what you make for a living, and your car is a, $60,000 car when you make $30,000, I have a problem with that. So I'm very, very careful with the people around me. The Millionaire Next Door is a great book, right? And one of my friends, I knew him, but I knew what he did, but I didn't know his net worth. And he was driving, it was like an old school used BMW, right? Living in a very modest apartment. Not ugly, but not like balling. Well, his uncle passed, and the wedding was like, the funeral was like $20,000 to the funeral. And he said, hey man, can you carry me to the bank? I was like, yeah. And he was crying and a little emotional, so I went inside the bank with him. Walked in there and took out the whole $20,000. Did a money order, cut the check to his family. After the funeral, I said, bruh, was that a loan? Like, why are you getting that money back? I said, nah. I said, bro, what'd you do? Do you sell something on the side? I'm like, because I know what you do, but like,
right.
He was like, nah, man. He was like, I've saved, I've invested. He did a little bit into Bitcoin when it first started. And you would never know, but the dude generates about $400,000 or $500,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? So you never really know. So like, when I see people with a whole bunch of money on, I'm not knocking it. I got on Gucci shoes today. Cool, great. But it's like at the same time, I don't own a Gucci backpack. I don't own a Louis Vuitton. I don't even really own Jordans. I have one pair of Jordans like in my actual studio, and I bought it just for the studio, just for culture. But this chain right here, probably like $20. It's fake.
Actually, I take that back. I did have one guy. He had a really nice, not BMW, Mercedes SUV. And he's the type of person who would buy out the bar,
He would buy out the bar.
But would then ask me to pay the tip on dates. Yeah, so I did have that. I just remembered that situation.
Wow. Yeah. So take you out on a date, but he wants you to pay the tip.
This is the same. So there was a situation, we went to a bar once, and he was, buying rounds for all his friends. And they wanted me to pay the tip. I forgot about that.
No.
Yeah, I did have that one situation.
I've never bought out the bar. Now, my team, like my staff, when we go out to eat, when we're shooting and stuff near in time, yeah, I pay for everything because it's a business expense. It's a business write-off. But nah, I ain't going out just buying out the bar.
Yeah, he didn't have money.
I like my bag.
Right.
I work too hard for my bag to impress people with the bag. I'll impress my wife. I'll impress my kids. I'll wine and dine my parents, my family. But I ain't wine and dining just a girl who's just a friend for right now. or girls who I don't even know, or brothers who just are cool.
Right.
Leah, you've been amazing today.
Thank you.
You have been amazing. You got a lot of great stuff coming up.
Yes.
Tell the people, how can they find out more information about you? Where can they find you? You've told me some stuff offline, but I'm telling y'all right now, y'all want to get and follow her because she got some dope stuff coming up. So how can they follow you? How can they find out more information about you?
You can follow me at the Leah Marie Collins on Instagram. If you are wondering if you and your partner are financially compatible, I actually have a quiz that they can take. And I'm also launching my group financial coaching program next year, first quarter next year. And you can enroll in that now.
I love it. I love it. Yo, it's your boy, Anthony ONeal. It's The Table. We kept it real, kept it relatable, and we kept it relevant. We'll see you on the next show. Peace out.